What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are doing the long-awaited, drumroll please, Clash Royale Customs. I know a lot of you have been wanting this, and I decided, even though it hasn't won a poll yet, that I would do it. So here are Clash Royale Customs and LEGO DC Supervillains. First up, we are doing the Barbarian. For this, I gave him a flat top hairpiece that's that's yellow. I gave him this custom face print mustache that's also yellow. I gave him the custom superhero torso to give him just no shirt. Then I gave him these black wrist things that he kind of has. I gave him these light brown pants with the scarecrow hip piece. I gave him these dark brown boots, and I gave him a sword because the Barbarian uses it to try to knock down the enemy towers in the game. Now, I know these are long-awaited customs, so without wasting any more time, we're going to move on. Next up, we have the Archer, and for her, I gave her Tara's hairpiece, but in pink. I gave her blue cape with the custom superhero torso, but it's like a lime green. I gave her no sleeves and her trusty bow and arrow. I gave her the LEGO Movie 2 Green Lantern belt with the lime green legs and no shoes. I think this one came out really good, and let's move on. Next up, we have the Wizard. Now for the Wizard, I gave him Vandal Savage's torso, hip, and leg piece, but made it blue because I think it looks perfect. I gave him Kanto's face print and a blue hood with fiery hands that he uses to shoot his magical fire out of. I think this one came out really good, and especially when you combine it with the force field right here, I think it looks really good. Next up, we have the Minions, or the Dragon. Now for this, I gave him the alligator head the head and neck piece. And I made the face print all black with the skeleton piece. I gave him these blue wings with the copperhead torso and blue arms and blue legs. This one's a pretty simple one, but I think it came out really good. I also made it so that the laser shoots out of his eye, so it looks like it's shooting out of his mouth. Now next up we have the King, and for this I gave him this yellow hard hat to represent his crown. I gave him this long black mustache and this beard on his neck. I gave him this blue cape with black on the inside with white on the front of his sleeves and gray at the end. I gave him no gloves but blue pants and white shoes. And I think this one actually looks really accurate. I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out, and we're moving on. Next up we have the Knight, and for this I gave him a yellow long mustache with a gray cape. I gave him a light gray sword with these bluish gray pants and belt and brown boots and blue short sleeves and shirt underneath. I think this looks pretty accurate, and I'm happy with how it turned out. Next up we have the Skeleton, or more known as the Bomber. For this, I gave him the Parademon helmet piece with the skeleton head. I think this looks absolutely perfect. And then I gave him the sea creature legs from the Aquaman movie. And I think it's Pride or something, his torso piece. I don't know exactly. Then I gave him some plain white arms with these brown gloves. And I gave him the ability to throw bombs, just like he can in the game. I'm really happy with the way this one turned out, and this is probably one of my favorite customs I've made. Next up, we have the Goblin. For this, I gave him Envy's headpiece to get the ears and that weird head shape. And I gave him Beast Boy's face print. I gave him Bane's torso to get the suspender type thing on there. I gave him Scarecrow's hip piece and some brown pants with no shoes with his green skin, his lime green skin. I like the way this one came out, and let's move on. Coming up on our last ones, we have the Giant. For this, I gave him the ability to grow, so he's kind of huge. I gave him this balding hair piece, and I made the hair orange. I gave him these sideburns on his face with the custom hero piece for the torso with a belt on there. I gave him the Alfred hip piece because it's the only color brown hip piece there is for that. I gave him brown legs and no shoes, and I gave him no sleeves. I think this one's pretty good. It'd probably be more accurate as big fig size, but I still think it came out really well. Next up, we have the miner. Now for this one, I used the hard hat piece the way it's supposed to be used, and I gave him a shovel because he's a miner, so he digs stuff. I gave him this blue torso piece with a brown belt, once again using Scarecrow's hips with brown legs and no shoes, and I gave him no sleeves. These two came out really well, and I'm really happy with how the design. Our second to last character is the Prince. Now for him, I gave him this SWAT team headpiece to represent his helmet, and I gave him this headpiece underneath that has a mustache and a little bit of a tiny beard on him. I gave him these like gray short sleeves to represent his chainmail. I gave him the same color gloves as his armor piece on his torso and his helmet. I gave him a blue his under torso piece is blue, and then I gave him these grayish blue legs and hips with brown boots. I think this one came out really good like the others, and I'm really excited for you to see the last one. Last but not least, we have one of the most iconic Clash Royale and Clash of Clans characters out there, the Hog Rider. Now for this, I gave him a black mohawk with a black beard, a headpiece. I gave him the custom superhero torso piece to get the shirtless thing. I gave him these arms that have gold on them to get his like arm guard things he has. I gave him these yellow pants with no shoes and these red hip pieces. I also gave him his hammer that he has, and I'm really happy with how this one came out. I think this is probably my favorite Clash custom I made. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you enjoy the new method of making customs more than the old one, please make sure to comment down below and let me know. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.